New Arkansas State Representative Austin McCollum has been released from jail on a $10,000 bond just a day after his arrest in Benton County. And new tonight, we're learning more details from investigators about what they say happened the night of his arrest. According to a newly obtained arrest affidavit, the Benton County Sheriff's Office responded to a reported physical disturbance at a Bentonville home after midnight Saturday. Investigators say McCollum and his wife were arguing when he allegedly began throwing objects at her. According to the affidavit, McCollum is accused of punching her in the face as she tried to leave, throwing her to the ground, and repeatedly slamming her head against the floor. Investigators say others in the home separated the two and called 911. He was arrested for false imprisonment, aggravated assault, and domestic battering. McCollum recently won the Republican primary for Benton County judge, and with no Democratic or independent candidates in the running in November, he was likely to take the seat. He was endorsed by multiple state and county officials, including Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders, who has since called for him to resign from office and withdraw from the race. McCollum was ordered to have no contact with his wife, and the Benton County Sheriff's Office confirmed to us that he's expected in court on September 8th. We first told you back in June about a push to create Fayetteville's first Black historic district. Now that proposal is moving closer to a final vote after city leaders got an updated look at the plan. 5 News reporter Jada Daniels shows us why supporters say this district would help preserve an important part of Fayetteville's past.
For years, community members have worked to preserve the stories connected to this part of Fayetteville, a place where Black families lived, owned property, and built a community. Now the proposed district is just one step closer to a final decision.
The Black Historic District includes 78 parcels with the highest concentration of historic Black ownership in the city of Fayetteville. This area includes 85% of the buildings within it are of historic age. Many of them have a high preservation priority, and again, 53% of property owner signatures were collected in support of this area.
And it has evolved since the first time we told you about it. Planning staff say after receiving property records and historic information, they redrew the boundary lines to better represent the area's history.
This initial map shown in red is what was submitted by the petitioners. So as you can see, the footprint is almost the exact same. We're just splitting it into 2 areas that thematically make sense.
And while the proposal has received overwhelming support, it's also received a little bit of pushback.
So we did receive very minimal opposition. I'm aware of 2 letters from the same individual that is not a resident in this area or a property owner. One was sent ahead of the Planning Commission meeting, and then one you all are aware of.
Staff say the proposal has gone through multiple levels of review, from the state's Historic Preservation Office to the Black Heritage Preservation Commission. For some city council members, the question still remains about what all this means for property owners here in the district. Planning staff says it doesn't mean you can't make changes to your property, but it may need review to make sure that all historical features still remain. The Fayetteville City Council is expected to take a final vote on the proposed historic district on Tuesday. If approved, it will become the city's first district that recognizes Fayetteville's Black community. In Fayetteville, covering news where you live, Jada Daniels, 5 News.
A longstanding cancer support house in Fort Smith has a new director. The Reynolds Center Support House hired Grace Wilmoth as its new executive director. Wilmoth's short-term goals for the house include expanding the house's nutritional program, collaborating with other organizations, and ensure the community knows about the center before they need it. Wilmoth says her new job is a way to rally support for the house.
The history of the Reynolds Cancer Support House is rich and exciting, and what we've done in the community for so long has left an impact, but it's time for some new energy and excitement. And I think that me and my team, we have a great team here, and we're eager to change things up a little bit.
Wilmoth has previously served as the Fort Smith Chamber of Commerce. She's been on the job at the Reynolds Center for at least 3 weeks. Well, Arkansas's tax-free weekend wraps up in just a couple of hours. As a reminder, tax-free weekend means you won't have to pay the state's 6.5% sales tax on qualified items. Local sales tax doesn't apply either, and for those shopping online, online purchases qualify if the item is shipped to an Arkansas address. Oklahoma's tax-free weekend starts next week. And believe it or not, school is back in session this week for a few local schools. Greenland has the first bell starting tomorrow morning. On Thursday, Cameron, Podo, and Spiro. On Tuesday, the 11th, some of our bigger school districts like Fayetteville, Bentonville, and Springdale begin. And on Wednesday, the 12th, Fort Smith, Rogers, Alma, and Van Buren schools begin. We've got a list of the first day of school dates around our area. Just text the words first day to the number 479-785-5000. We'll send you back a link to our website. Well, hundreds of senior pickleball players from across the country were in Fayetteville this weekend, competing in a tournament with a trip to nationals on the line. But for many players, the sport is about more than just winning. We talked to some intense players on how pickleball is bringing people together and continuing to grow in Northwest Arkansas. The sound of pickleball filled the courts at Fayetteville Athletic Club this weekend. But these players aren't just here for a casual game.
We're going to play a lot of games. By the time this term is over, we will have played 991 pickleball games.
The U.S. Senior Pickleball South Regional Championship brought almost 350 players from 19 states to Northwest Arkansas.
There are no barriers when it comes to pickleball. None. I mean, you could go down the list. Race, creed, color, religion.
Competitors ranged from those turning 50 this year to the tournament's oldest player, who is 87. While the competition can get intense, players say the sport's biggest draw is the community that comes along with it.
We all met through the love of pickleball.
You just meet so many people that otherwise you might not meet just in life. You know, different ages, different places that they live, and it just brings you all together.
And that sense of community has helped the sport grow rapidly in Arkansas.
We had 15 members when I started. We have over 800 members in Arkansas now. So next, my goal was to bring a championship series to Arkansas.
Players who qualify will advance to the U.S. Senior Pickleball National Championship scheduled for December in Casa Grande, Arizona. But win or lose, it's clear this is far more than just a casual game for these seniors.
You can play this every day, twice a day, all day if you want.